Color Outside the Box is a podcast series that focuses on creating a better you. Whether it's advice about family, relationships, raising children in this technological world, marriage, or careers, we seek to find the answers to help you live your best life. So start your Monday morning off right with me, your hostess with the mostest, Princess Miller, on Color Outside the Box right here on iTunes and everywhere podcasts can be heard. Well, good afternoon in some time zones. This is the Color Outside the Box podcast, and I am your hostess, Princess Miller, and just so excited to be able to take a break for once. Since the podcast has been going, we've had some great guests on the show, some great topics, but this month I want to focus on marriage and what is the role of a wife. And somebody may say, well, Princess, why are you doing shows like this? Why are you doing so much focus on marriage and relationships? Because, society is built on the family, basically. What is the role of a wife, the role of a husband is so important because it shapes our future. If you have a child that comes from a good family, chances are and have the right information growing up, chances are they can grow up to be successful and to cultivate other successful relationships. And so it's not about just, trying to get on here and share a bunch of stories with you. It's about affecting change in our communities, changing our future, changing our world. And so that is one of the mission statements and focuses of the Color Outside the Box podcast, to help you live your best life. And so this month, I'm so excited. I'm going to have Darlene Calhoun. She is coming in this weekend from Atlanta, Georgia. And Darlene has a great ministry for women called the P31 Woman. And her husband both have separate ministries, but one of their ministries together is focusing on finances and helping the family unit be the best steward that they could be over the finances that God has given them, and to be able to pay off debt and how to make that possible. But what we're going to focus on this month is the role of a wife, marriage. That is so important. Do you know that the divorce rate today is more than 50%? More than ever today, we have so many blended families. And so I think that the attention on marriage has always been on the wedding more so than the marriage. Back in the day, I don't know if it's still popular in some sections, but it used to be that before you got married, you had to sit down with the preacher and have counseling to make sure that you're prepared for what you're about to walk into. And there are some churches that still do that. Some pastors will not marry you unless they counsel you. But you have this generation now that's coming up. They don't believe in counseling. They just want to hop into the marriage. And then after sometimes a year, sometimes within 5 years, they're divorced. So we're going to talk about some of those issues that may cause a marriage to dissolve, and what can we do to prevent that from happening. And the role of a wife is one of the most important roles because she is the influencer over the children. She is the influencer, with her husband. In some sectors, men are glorified, because of their wife. They when you see these stars, they get the best looking wife that they can as they're walking down the red carpet, because there's glory that's brought to that man because of his wife. The wife brings the man favor, is basically what I'm saying. The Bible says that she is his favor. And so, we have gotten to a place now where the wife has not been counseled. She has not been has not really researched what what her role is in the marriage, and so she may harbor some feelings, whether she's bringing in baggage from a previous relationship that's sabotaging her current relationship, or she just not hadn't dealt with issues that within herself and self-confidence or able to trust that may bring issues or sabotage her current relationship. There's just so many ways that we can go with this conversation, but I'm so excited to have Miss Darlene to come in and to talk to us about the role of a wife. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. New shows will start this Monday. That's March the 11th at 7 a.m. We're going to start releasing these shows every Monday morning for the month of March. And we're just going to have a great time just talking about the role of a woman, the role of a wife, and how powerful her role is and how influential her role is in shaping the next generation, how to have a successful marriage. I think that needs to be said because, like I said, I have sat down with people that are in the wedding industry, and I asked them, hey, do you run into any of the brides that you have, done weddings for? And they're like, sure, but when I see them, they're not married. I know a couple one time they spent over $20,000 on a wedding, and within 2 to 3 years they were divorced. And it's simply because things were not put into perspective before that took place. A lot of times we walk into a marriage and we think, okay, what's mine is yours and what's his is mine and what's mine is mine. That's not a proper mindset to have for a successful marriage. Or if I'm not happy, nobody's happy. So if I can't have my way, I'm going to make sure that he is not happy. I'm going to, make his world miserable. And that's not the proper mindset to have if you're looking to have a successful marriage. And so I'm hoping that with these shows this month, we are going to be able to bless a lot of women, a lot of men, because sometimes men have a misconception of what the role of a wife is. They think, okay, she gonna satisfy me physically. She gonna keep my house clean and raise the kids, and I do whatever I want to do. They don't understand that there may be, honey-do list may go over their head. Honey, do what? You handle what's in the household, and I work and I pay the bills. And so, we need to talk about these things. We need to make sure that we're all on the right mindset. So I want you to tune in Monday morning, March the 11th. We're going to kick off our first show talking about the role of a wife, 7 a.m. Check us out on Spreaker, on Stitcher, on Apple Podcasts, on SoundCloud, on Facebook. Check us out, YouTube. Check us out. Like us. Make us your favorite. Share our podcast. Let others know about the Color Outside the Box podcast, and tell them how it's been. Let us know how it's been a blessing to you. Comment. I've had some very positive feedback over the last 2 months, and I'm just so excited, so encouraged. I know that there's more to come. I know next month we're going to be focusing on business, and we're going to talk about insurance and how important it is that we have insurance and what all the options are out there. So I'm going to bring some experts in that's going to talk about that. We're going to talk about business etiquette because we are in a time right now where entrepreneurship is so prevalent. A lot of millennials have even gotten to the point they go to school, they get their education, but they're not going to go work for anybody else. They're going to work for themselves. And so we're going to talk about business etiquette and how some of the obstacles that we must face in order to be successful as a small business or an entrepreneur. And we're also going to talk about some situations where when it comes time to get paid, how to ask for your money, how to make sure that you're, maximizing and reaching the audience that you're trying to reach. So these next 2 months, I want you guys to continue to stay tuned, share the podcast, like us, because I guarantee you you're going to learn something with every show. There's something that you will learn. So thank you again for tuning in to the Color Outside the Box podcast. See you Monday morning, 7 a.m., March the 11th, with Miss Darlene Calhoun, and you have an awesome day. Color Outside the Box is a podcast series that focuses on creating a better you. Whether it's advice about family, relationships, raising children in this technological world, marriage, or careers, we seek to find the answers to help you live your best life. So start your Monday morning off right with me, your hostess with the mostest, Princess Miller, on Color Outside the Box right here on iTunes and everywhere podcasts can be heard.